Hidden in the ashes of Jerusalem's siege, these forbidden psalms exposed the sins of kings, foretold a Messiah's coming, and became secret weapons of faith when the temple lay in ruins. The air was thick with smoke and prayers. Roman axes shattered the bronze-clad gates of the Second Temple like thunder splitting a cedar. Pompey's legions poured in, armored ghosts under a blood-orange sky, dragging chains, dragging death. The scribes moved in silence. Beneath the stone colonnades, where incense once danced toward heaven, they clutched scrolls to their chest. Psalms. Words older than the city itself. Words too dangerous to let die. They crept into shadowed chambers, past overturned menorahs and bloodied steps, and slid the scrolls into clay vessels. Wax sealed. Buried beneath sacred ash. The high priest was gone, slain or fled. But the words could survive. In the alleys of the lower city, whispers spread of the psalms the priests tried to burn. Songs that named the unnameable sins of those who once wore linen robes. Their teeth, one line dared to say, are like lions devouring the poor. This line alone cost a psalmist his life, dragged from a mikveh and stoned by his own kin. And yet, more verses came. Quietly passed hand to hand. Palm to palm. Some written in oil on lambskin, hidden inside the folds of widows' veils. Some carved into the backs of amulets, pressed against chests that no longer beat. The most dangerous of them spoke of a coming one. Not a warrior with iron spear, but one who would walk in dust and speak with fire. A king will rise, it said, not by sword, but God's breath. The line rippled like an underground current, too soft to be caught, too strong to be silenced. Then came the moment that unmoored the soul of a nation. He pushed aside the veil that once billowed with the divine presence. But there was no Arkansas. No glow. Only stone and silence. Still, the air shifted, as if reality itself recoiled. And in the ruins left behind, the poets retaliated. One etched into broken wall plaster a line that would echo across generations: Roman eagles are but vultures, God's judgment will pluck their feathers. Another cursed the collaborators with haunting finality: may their children be cast into darkness. The Psalms became more than scripture. They were resistance. After Pompey's retreat, silence fell like ash. A lyre string snapped somewhere in the wreckage, a sound so soft it could shatter a man's heart. A scribe knelt alone in a cracked chamber, scrolls weeping from smoke and heat. He whispered only one line: "We have no fortress but you." His hands were blistered, ink smeared with tears. But his quill did not falter. In the months that followed, a miracle unfolded, not with angels or fire, but with parchment. The forbidden psalms lived. Carried in secret to Qumran. Hidden in caves. Buried in urns beneath the Dead Sea's windswept silence. And with them, something else: hope. Not for vengeance, but for reckoning. Not for kings, but for justice. A vision rose, a messianic figure not cloaked in glory, but wisdom. He shall strike the earth with wisdom's word, a line read, and purge Jerusalem like refined gold. It was prophecy. It was poetry. It was defiance. And in that defiance, a spark survived. Dawn broke one morning, weeks, months, maybe years later. A child stepped through rubble near the Temple Mount. Dust swirled around her bare feet. In her hand, a parchment, ash-covered, brittle, but legible. She read the line aloud. Words outlasting stone. The wind carried it through the olive trees. And somewhere in the hills, an old priest wept, not in sorrow, but in awe. Because the Psalms had endured what kings could not. But in the shadows, the true battle for souls had just begun.